everybody. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday and it is August 27th. We don't have any open meetings to tell you about today, so we'll just jump to who's on the show. Today we are joined by Elsie Addington, who is here with the United Update. And then we have the Orange County Vector Control, and of course they are going to talk to us about those nasty little mosquitoes, some in which you cannot see until it's too late and they've infested your home. So we have to be really careful about those little critters during these months of warm weather. All right, speaking of warm weather, it is going to be a hot one today. It was very warm yesterday, and we are going to continue that trend throughout the weekend and into early next week. Today we are looking at 91-67, tomorrow 90-69, Sunday 88-68, Monday a little cooler, 86-67, and then nice on Tuesday with an 83-72. If you're traveling in the state of California, take a look at these numbers. Our beaches are looking very nice this weekend. 78-67, 77-63, San Diego 80-69, and the mountains, of course, are looking lovely as well. Tahoe 83-43, Mammoth 82-42, Big Bear 82-52. Now again, Palm Springs is surpassing Las Vegas with 112 and an overnight of 86, and Las Vegas is 109-82. So very warm out there in the desert area. Now our sunrise this morning was at 6:22 and our sunset will be at 7:22. So we will be adjusting those clocks here in the next month or so. So enjoy the sunshine and the beautiful sunsets that we've been having. All right, when we come back, we will have Elsie Addington with the United Update, so stick around. The Twitter bird has a name. It's Larry. The infamous bluebird of social media was named after former NBA player Larry Bird, who used to play for Twitter co-founder Biz Stone's home state team, the Boston Celtics.
Someone to clean your house is a big decision. After all, they'll be inside your house and touching virtually everything you own. Sadly though, not all cleaning professionals are actually real pros. Like this person you found online who uses the same sponge in the kitchen they use in the bathroom. If you're looking for a local family-owned business with amazing customer service, contact MaidPro for a free estimate. MaidPro, when you're ready for a real pro.
Super Immunity, powered by Source, is the first of its kind water-soluble, vitamin-fortified drinkable supplement. These perfectly balanced liquid vitamins are delivered with 25 milligrams of hemp extract. What does that mean for you? It means 0 THC, no sugar, and no calories. Super Immunity is water-based, not oil, so your body gets the full effect of your vitamins and anti-inflammatory hemp without the compromise. Now you can stay active and do what you do best. Take your best shot, morning, afternoon, or night.
At Laguna Woods Dental Care, our goal is to serve and provide dental services to the residents of Laguna Woods. Dr. Mohsen Mahmood is currently specializing in senior dental care at USC School of Dentistry. Here at Laguna Woods Dental Care, we are up to date with the latest technology. Our top priority is your overall wellness, ensuring your current medications do not affect your oral health. We offer an affordable membership plan that includes cleanings and deep cleanings if recommended. We're located outside Gate 3. Call us today.
Pickleball is the fastest growing sport in Laguna Woods, and during the day, hundreds of pickleballers play on the Association's 7 courts. But at night, that number is greatly reduced because there are only 4 lighted courts. Light the Night is a community improvement project, and the Pickleball Club has stepped up to assist GRF with funding. You can help by making a tax-deductible donation of any size through the Village Community Fund. Go to villagecommunityfund.org and click on the Light the Night link for more information.
Welcome back. Well, as I mentioned, we have Elsie Addington, who we just adore, and she's right here. Thank you for joining us again.
You are so sweet.
Well, you always have such a, even though you got a lot going on, you're always very happy, and we appreciate you being happy.
Oh, thanks.
So
well,
thank you.
I try. It's no use not being happy, right?
I agree. So
but you've
got some additional information for us about United.
I do.
Okay.
I do. Because I was supposed to say, I'll bet you're surprised to see me again. You thought I was gone forever.
Oh, and we were always like, oh, we're going to miss her. We're going to miss her.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, as usual, I have to read it.
Okay.
And I'm back to talk about governing docks again.
Okay.
I know the ever fascinating, gripping saga of the governing documents is related to United Mutual.
Right.
But this is about the committee. This is a good time because I really do think this is my last time on this program, at least for United, to thank my committee because they are unsung heroes. Everybody knows about M&C and architecture and all these different, landscaping, the glamorous. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you, the people in governing docks work really hard. And first of all, I want to thank our staff. Even more than other committees, we depend on our staff to do things that most people don't even think about. Not only do they keep us on track during meetings, they coordinate many crucial changes, deletions, and additions to our Laguna Woods Village website and other sources. Mm-hmm. They also ensure that all of our great ideas are in line with our governing documents for United. These include United's Article of Incorporation, bylaws, and the occupancy agreement. And you probably know this, or maybe you don't and don't really care, and I don't blame you. Our occupancy agreement, other people talk about CC&Rs. I believe Third has CC&Rs. We don't have CC&Rs. We have an occupancy agreement, but it has the same force of law as CC&Rs.
Okay.
But of course, it's just different because we're United.
Yes.
Staff also has to pay close attention to compliance with the United operating rules, the California Constitution, and the Davis-Sterling Act. So it's like they don't tell anybody what to do, but if something, is questionable, they do research for us and let us know that And then if we decide different, we decide different, but we discuss it. It's just, they're wonderful. And of course, all this is in addition to running our marvelous technology, Zoom and GoToMeeting, et cetera, taking notes for the report, putting together the next agenda, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just our committee. They do that for a lot of committees. Mm-hmm. So these superheroes have names. From compliance, right around the corner from you, mm-hmm. we have on my little committee, Francis Gomez, Paul Wynn, and Basilda Wright. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate their hard work this year. I mean, they are so responsive and so timely and so prompt. Mm. And from community services, I love this word, and it's true. Look it up. It fits her perfectly. The inimitable Pamela Bashline is a frequent and valued contributor. We definitely couldn't have done all we did without her. I heartily recommend that the next chair of this committee listen to the gentle but informed suggestions from these folks. They will make life so much easier for you and take the committee's direction and then make your goals and duties come to fruition in a way that's sturdy and weather the challenges of time. Okay. They know how to do it right. Mm-hmm. I also want to thank my advisors, residents Mary Stone, Bevan Strong, and Dick Rader, as well as VMS Director Juanita Skillman, who actually founded this committee some years ago. Juanita, several years ago, she actually founded this. Mm-hmm. Whether combing personal archives in an attempt not to reinvent the wheel, debating options on wording, writing up new documents, or just having lots of ideas, they all contributed to this year's successes, and I have a little bit more on that later. Okay. Last but certainly not least, I want to acknowledge my fellow United directors that served on this committee with me, our President Sue Margolis, along with Diane Casey, and United's second Vice President, Reza Bastani. We all worked well together and settled our differences with courtesy and respect for each other and for staff. I was pretty lucky with my personnel, don't you think, Lisa?
I think so.
And now the success part. At the beginning of my term as chair some months ago, the committee accepted 7 items that we hoped would be accomplished during our term. Mm-hmm. These items were study items, sorry, these are goals, if you will. Mm-hmm. These are goals. Number one was our operating rules are pretty extensive, and so we wanted to put together an operating rules guidebook that would sort of tell you where to go, not re-quote the resolutions or the rules or the governing docs, but to refer you through links to. Right. And that was a big job, and it's ongoing. It's a living document, but that was an important goal. Another one was to make sure that all active resolutions are accessible from the website. And right along with that is to review and clean up resolutions from prior to 2006 and make them accessible and retrievable from the website. And I don't know what the big break is prior to 2006. I think it might have to do with technology, but I know the next one, no, there wasn't. Nope, that was it. Also included in there are ones that have copyright protected information, but that wouldn't have been 2006. I don't think that would have been 1998. So I'm not really sure, but there's this big block.
Okay.
And we clean those up, and they're retrievable from the website. Sometimes you have to make a document request if there's copyrighted protected material on them, and then you can get a copy of that resolution that's been redacted.
Okay.
To review financial documentation for requirements for like purchasing a home here. We didn't change the financial requirements or even attempt to, but the documentation for that, we wanted to make it a little smoother, a little easier to understand, to assist the real estate industry and the escrow companies. Right. Also to create a one-page explanation of resident procedures to be included in residents' resale packages, leasing packages, etc. And finally, to review the sublease requirements with an eye to the dictates of AB 3182, which took effect this last January.
Okay.
And guess what, Lisa? We got them all done. Yay! And where appropriate, whenever we did make a change or a tweet, we forwarded them to the main board, and the board approved them. Every one we took up. And in fact, some of them have even been, I've heard them being repeated, because the other thing we did was we streamlined the review process, which didn't even make it in here, but it was another goal. And I noticed that they're doing that in third now too. So, but we started it first. And guess what, Lisa, we got them all done. I already said that. And where appropriate, presented them to the board. And besides the committee, board, and staff who in various degrees worked together to make this all work. Very special kudos to our advisors, especially Mary Stone and Juanita Skillman, whose writing abilities and long memories from their extensive service to United Mutual were essential to the finished products in many cases. So it was a good and productive season for governing documents, and I'm proud to have been a part of it. And residents now and in the future are welcome to join these fascinating chats, and I hope they do.
Well, excellent information.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I love the way that you have it all organized and that you thanked everybody that was part of your committee. So nice job.
They did a lot of hard work this year, and it worked. And
many of them were working from home for a long time too.
Yes,
so
they were.
It was a little even harder. Yeah.
They were, and especially Frances was working from home and juggling all of her committees here, and she just always was smooth, always good-natured. Everybody was. It was just a nice experience.
Well, Elsie, thank you again. We appreciate all the information.
Well, thanks, and don't say goodbye because you never know.
Okay,
right?
I'm not going to say goodbye. We'll see you next time. How's
you might
that?
see me next week.
We don't know. We don't know.
You might see me tomorrow.
We'll see what happens. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa.
All right, stick around. We've got more great information for you.
Beautiful weather is here, and nothing should stop you from getting outside and doing what you love with who you love, especially arthritic pain and fibromyalgia. At OC Vitality Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine, our experienced and compassionate doctors offer innovative and personalized medical solutions to treat your pain and stiffness. We're conveniently located right next to the Laguna Woods Community Center.
I'm Dr. Dimitri Gruwer. Give us a call today to see how we can help you get out of pain and get back to living.
Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Heather Highland, who's here on behalf of the Orange County Vector Control. Well, Heather, thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You know, it's an interesting subject matter. Of course, it's always the same for the most part, but you know, we always want to be reminded of the things that we need to do to help these, keep these little pests at bay. Because just the other day, I think I left my door open and I wanted to get some fresh air. And sure enough, that evening, I have a bunch of mosquitoes in my house and I didn't even notice they were coming in. Now, when we talked before, we talked about a new species, which are the teeny tiny little ones, and that they can hatch like months later, which is just kind of trippy. And, you know, you certainly don't want to have to deal with that. So as of right now, what are some of the new ones? Is it the same as the ones we were talking about before, or are there new kinds?
No, these are the same ones that we talked before about they're the daytime biting, ankle biters,
Okay.
black and white stripes, tiny, and they do tend to lay eggs in small containers. And people call them the ankle biters, but I kind of want to start calling them the backyard breeders, because that's where we're seeing them breed the most.
Okay.
Is in backyards. They prefer indoors and outdoors, and that's the issue that we're having. Like you said, they'll sneak right into your house and have a field day. The issue also with these type of mosquitoes is they are aggressive biters. So when they do bite you, it could be 5 to 10 times that just one female is biting you. So you think that there's more around you.
Oh, but it's one nasty one. Oh my gosh. You know, can't they just be like bees and bite you and die?
I know. I wish that would be a little bit more. I think that would ease the pain of people's ankles.
Well, for sure, for sure. Now, what are some things? Well, first of all, before we get into all of the things that you can do about getting rid of some of the spots that the mosquitoes like, what can we do, or what are you guys doing in the community right now to help with these kinds of mosquitoes?
Yeah, so we do have technicians on site. If you ever see him, his name is Mike. He's your inspector, and we have collaborated and done our due diligence to talk to all the staff at Laguna Woods, city members, and the Golden Rain Foundation. They have always really been so supportive of bringing us in and saying, we have this issue, what do we do? So we do have traps set near Aliso Creek.
Okay.
So we're constantly checking Aliso Creek, because I know that that's been an issue for residents. It's consistently checked. It's on a routine check. There's mosquito fish in part of the creek, and so that helps with more of a natural control, eating the larvae. The traps, though, have really shown us that there's not a lot of mosquito activity. So then that shows us it's probably more in the drains, which we do treat.
Okay.
And it probably has to do with 80s. So you're probably walking along the creek and then you come home and you have bites on you. So, I mean, that could be from the dusk and dawn biters, which are the Culex mosquitoes. Or, you could be going back to your house and getting bit by an 80s mosquito. So not only do we have the ankle biters, we have the dusk and dawn biters. So the creek really isn't too much of a breeding habitat, because we do routinely check it.
Right.
So it does tend to breed year after year. So we know that we have to check it, especially during the mosquito breeding season.
Okay.
And I know that we've talked to the maintenance staff, and they are going to, this month in August, going to clear out a lot of the cattails. And that way the water is going to be flowing more and not kind of leaving those areas where people feel like they think mosquitoes are breeding there.
Well, right, because that would be some sort of a standing water situation that may be for a period of time. And that's one thing that you guys definitely want to make sure everybody knows about, is standing water. Now, in the past, you mentioned you talked to maintenance and you've got people on the ground in Aliso Creek. So it sounds like everything's going pretty well in terms of our public spaces. But in small yards or patios, or even just out front, right, near your home, there can be standing water.
Oh yeah. And my parents live in Laguna Woods. And so I do walk along Aliso Creek. I'm always looking around. And what I do see in the neighborhood is a lot of saucers. I'm seeing a lot of potted plants, a lot of bird baths, a lot of containers. And that's a perfect breeding source for this type of invasive species.
Mhm.
And, we started seeing a lot of Aedes activity in August. And it goes all the way until October. So now our season is changing. We're starting to see them pop up in April all the way to October.
Oh boy.
And then from June to August is when, when it heats up is kind of our larger mosquito activity season. But in 2015 is when we really started seeing the Aedes start to spread around Orange County. And we first spotted them in Mission Viejo.
Oh, where in Mission Viejo? Was it a park?
They were breeding in bromeliads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of bromeliads that this person had bought and started selling. So that's where it started to spread.
Boy, see, who knew? I mean, you just don't know, like you said, because number one, they're small and then they don't show up for a little while later. So those are the 80s ones. Now, do they carry West Nile virus?
So as of today, we have not seen any diseases from this particular mosquito, the ankle biter. They do have the potential to transmit things like Zika, chikungunya, dengue fever, yellow fever.
Okay.
So we don't want people traveling and coming back with those diseases, because now we have the host mosquito for those type of viruses that are sometimes can be deadly. So we are conducting surveillance around Orange County now for these type of mosquitoes. We check them for diseases to make sure we're not seeing any of them popping up around Orange County. So if you are traveling, I highly urge you to wear repellent wherever you're going, because if you come back and you start to have symptoms, flu-like symptoms, you might think nowadays it's COVID or the flu, but it could be one of these types of viruses. So you always have to check for that. But we always collaborate with OC Health to make sure there aren't any human cases. And if there are, we, feet to the ground, we're there checking it to make sure that they're not transmitting diseases.
Now, you guys have found West Nile virus in a couple of areas here in Orange County. Tell me about that.
So we recently just found some of our traps that had positive mosquitoes in Fullerton. So now we have 3 different West Nile virus positive locations in Fullerton. And as of today, we now have officially confirmed that we have positive mosquitoes in Anaheim for West Nile virus.
I see.
So we tend historically to see more West Nile virus mosquitoes, human cases, or even birds in North County. We don't really see a lot in South County, but you never know.
Right. If someone was to contract West Nile virus from a bite, how would they feel? What happens?
So the symptoms for West Nile virus are tricky. You would have to get a blood test to see if you actually had it, because you're going to get flu-like symptoms. Sometimes you'll get a rash. And those are just the mild symptoms. But if you have severe symptoms, that's when I think doctors or people tend to notice more. So you're going to have brain swelling.
Oh, God.
Right? You can have paralysis. You can go into a coma. Those are the severe symptoms. And we have talked to 2 victims of West Nile virus that have had those severe symptoms, and it's very scary. One of them lives in Newport Beach, and he's on one of our videos. If you go on our website and just search West Nile virus, he is still having issues with his paralysis after 5 years.
Wow. No, it can be quite frightening. And sometimes, like you said, you don't even know what it is until weeks later. And then you finally figure it out. So yeah. And it also isn't necessarily something you're going to contract here. Like you said, you can contract it from somewhere else where there are mosquitoes and not even know it. So yeah, definitely. I'm a sunscreen, or not sunscreen. Yes, I use sunscreen, but I'm a bug spray fanatic. I swear I really do. And you know what, maybe next time when you come on, maybe we should talk about some of those bug sprays, because the warm weather, and this isn't going to go away, like you said, till maybe October. So we'll have you come back and we'll talk about some of those protections. I think would be ideal. Now, if someone does want more information about anything we've talked about, or maybe even some sunscreen or even that video, where should they go?
So you can head to our website, ocvector.org. And our overall message to residents is, it's a shared responsibility. We conduct wide area control, but if residents can really do their due diligence and check their yards to make sure mosquitoes aren't breeding, it can be just a little form of water that is piling up in your yard. But I think the main thing to look for is bird baths, buckets, saucers from plants, even pet dishes, and even indoors pet dishes and areas where they can breed, such as drains. But the new 80s species is known to survive indoors.
Yeah, and I know we talked about that last time in soil and things like that. It's a good thing I don't have any live plants.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's the thing, just get fake plants.
What's that?
Maybe just get fake plants. And then
really just have fake plants and you don't have real soil. Well, in any case, thank you so much for the information. We appreciate it. We'll touch base again with you in about a month and we'll visit and talk about some bug sprays.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Heather, thank you. And we'll be right back after this. Our movie for today is called Knives Out, and that's starring Daniel Craig, and it is a very fun movie, kind of like a whodunit Clue type movie. I think you'll enjoy it. It's got lots of stars in it. You can watch that today at 2 p.m. with subtitles, 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to you by Hogue. All right, let's take a look at our weather one last time before we head out to enjoy our beautiful weekend. It is going to be a little on the hot side today. We are looking at highs in the low 90s, 91-67 today, 90-69 tomorrow, 88-68 on Sunday, Monday 86-67, then we start a little cool down on Tuesday, 83-72. If you are traveling in the state of California, take a look at these numbers. Our beaches are looking awesome, anywhere from 77 to 80, and the mountains, same thing, in the low 80s. Palm Springs 112 and Las Vegas 109. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back again tomorrow at 9 a.m. You can always rewatch the program Monday through Saturday at 12:30 and 5. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, welcome to Genesis of Laguna Niguel. Under new ownership with a new attitude and an attitude to serve.
Are you or someone you know facing financial challenges from unexpected emergency expenses? The foundation of Laguna Woods Village can provide the temporary help you need. Meals on Wheels, adult day services, dental services, medical alert services, and ambulance contracts. Contact the Village Social Services at 949-597-4267 to see if you qualify. Neighbors helping neighbors. The mission of the foundation of Laguna Woods Village.